Hello, it's Andrine, a Jewish American priestess, and we're coming into the new moon of Iyar, which is the month that comes after Nisan. Nisan is the month where Passover happens, and we're heading through the wilderness on our way to Sivan, where we receive Torah at Sinai. The month of Iyar is said to be an acronym of the words Ani Havaya Rofecha, which is I am the divine, your healer. And there's a story that says that when the rain falls between Pesach and Shavuot, it's a refuah, healing, for diseases that have no cure. And one should let the rain fall on their head and open their mouth to let the rain go straight in so that you can receive healing. So if you're getting some healing coming in this coming month, which begins, the new moon begins on Sunday the 27th of April at about 12:30 p.m. Pacific time, then if you see the rain, run outside and let it fall on you so that you can receive the healing that you need. The month of Iyar comes from the Akkadian, the term Ayari, meaning rosette or blossom. So in the Babylonian captivity, the month was renamed Iyar, meaning blossom. Before that, it was called Ziv, a Hebrew word that means light or glow. And Iyar is also related to the Hebrew word for light, which is or. So Iyar and or are related. So there's light, more light coming in the northern hemisphere, and these blossoms that are showing up on the trees and plants. Today we're going to do Hebrunes reading. We're going to do for the month of Iyar that's coming in, the new moon. And it's going to be telling us what is coming in, what's blossoming right now, what light is shining down upon us as we enter into this new moon, this new month, for the entire month of Iyar. And we're going to do a full spread reading to that effect. So I'm going to shuffle up the Hebrunes. We're going to toss the entire set down, and then we'll do a reading. And we'll just go ahead and get started straight away. So let me shuffle them up. And we're going to think about Ani Havaya Rofea. I am the divine, your healer. What blossoming, healing, and light is coming in for us in this new moon of Iyar. Wow. Okay, nice even spread. And the way we do this when we do the reading with the full spread is we take out all the Hebrunes that are face down and leave the remaining ones where they are. And then we read those as they lay, except for we'll find the Ein Sof eventually and leave that where it is as well, because I'm always curious where the Ein Sof ends up. Okay, and then we're going to zoom in a bit. I think I'll just lower the tripod here. And that brings us, right down to where everything is sitting. Okay. So one way to do that is try to figure out what the central runes or Hebrunes are in the set. And I'm going to do it, looks like there's a grouping in the center here that begins us out. And the Ein Sof, as I said, which is that blank, the one that is without end. Ein Sof literally means no end, and it's the time before everything that came into being, and the time that will exist after all time and being ceases to exist. So it's a representation of the infinite and the divine, and it's right here in this center group. It shows up here, and it's a little bit to the right and a little bit higher than the other. This one down here, but this is their central issue here in this month, is the infinite, the unending, the void, the unknown and primordial chaos, and the boundlessness. And along with it, we have two other letters. We have the Gimel and the Resh. And the Gimel here is the letter that is a foot or a camel. And so there's something stepping forward. We've got some kind of forward movement that is happening here. It's the binary transformation of peace and evil. And so we have the opportunity to move from a place of wickedness or evil into a place of wholeness or peace. And this movement is coming from a place of the unknown, and that we're stepping forward into it. And that's coming up this month of Iyar. The Gimel is also the letter that rules over the planet Jupiter in the sky, in the book, the Sefer Yetzirah, the book of creation. And so we're stepping forward toward something that is just. The word tzedek is the name of the planet Jupiter in Hebrew. So tzedek, which means justice, is that which is planet which is ruled over by the letter Gimel here. And so we've got this moving again from wickedness to wholeness, or from evil toward peace. And in that, we're moving from the unknown toward justice. And I think that's really lovely for this month. I also affiliate Gimel with the Chariot card in Tarot. So again, that forward movement, or the word Raido, which is the Nordic rune, the Norse rune for progress or journey forward. So here we are, coming from this place of the unknown and stepping forward toward justice. And again, in that same grouping, we have the Resh. And Resh is the letter that begins the word Rosh, which means head in Hebrew. Resh is also the first word of Breshit. Breshit means in the beginning. So it's a head, a start, a new beginning. Breshit is the first word of Torah. It means in the beginning. It's the binary transformation of seed and barrenness. So we're stepping forward from this unknown, this blankness, this blank earth, and we're moving toward something, and that something is a new beginning. Resh can also be seen as something that is difficult or wicked. Rocha is the word that means wickedness. So, but again, as I said with the Gimel, we're moving from wickedness toward something that is whole. And Resh is, of course, the thing that begins the word Rosh Hashanah, Rosh Chodesh, the new moon, the new year, and it's also affiliated with the planet Mercury in the sky. It's the letter that rules over the planet Mercury, so there's communication that's affiliated with the Resh as well. So Resh is a complicated letter because it is that new beginning, and it also has that binary transformation of seed and barrenness. Are we moving towards something that's a seed, or is the land going to be barren? Is the seed that we planted not going to bear fruit? And it's unknown, but it's a new beginning. We're starting over, and we want to think about the fact that there's Rocha, the wickedness that can exist beneath it, but we also know that there's a possibility for fruitfulness because the seed is just beginning. It's just here underneath the soil. Interestingly, if we go straight up from there, we have the letter Yud, and Yud is that seed. It's also the first letter of the divine name, the Tetragrammaton, the Yud He Vav He. So this seed, this is the highest letter in the reading today. So something is being planted, something new coming in Iyar, and these seeds that we are planting have the potential for good or evil, right? They have the potential for blossoming or barrenness. But the seed is here, and it's very high in the reading, so I want to say that's a positive thing. Something new is being planted. The Yud of the Yud He Vav He. Yud He Vav He is this contraction of past, present, and future of the verb to be. So the name of the divine is the becoming one, if you look at it in that sense. And it's the unpronounceable name. It's the name that we do not say aloud. When it's written in Torah, oftentimes people will say Adonai or Hashem, which means the name or Lord, or Havaya, which is an acronym of the Yud He Vav He. Havaya is my favorite term of it. It means the becoming one, the one who is being. It is this one point. So it's the seed or the atom that is the building block of all of the universe. The first letter of the word Yad, which means hand. So the ability to create often comes from the hands. And it is also the foundation of sexuality in the Sefer Yetzirah, in the version that I read. So again, planting of that seed, a very masculine aspect of seed planting in the form of a sperm, possibly. It's the smallest of all letters, but as you'll notice in each of the letters that we have here, they all start with a yud. You have to put that pen down somewhere. So we have this creativity, this building block, and the artisanship of using one's hands in the form of the yad, yadayim. It's the number 10 in Gematria, so it has to do with the 10 Commandments and the 10 Sefirot. The Sefirot, which we are using right now, if you're counting the Omer, which I am, it's 7 times 7, 7 weeks times 7 days, 49 days from Passover all the way to Shavuot. And that the 10 emanations of the divine are used in that counting of the Omer, the lower 7 Sefirot. So, you know, if you want to see more about that, you can go to my Instagram where I'm counting each day using some of the Hebrunes. So you might want to check that out. So the Sefirot, again, 10 of those, and the 10 Commandments, also 10 plagues that we just came from in Egypt. A lot of things affiliated with the Yud here, and it's, again, way up high in the reading. So that seed, the beginning of a new thing, and the seed right above that. Let's look over here at the Mem to the right of that Yud. And we have the Mem, the mother letter of water, and you can see it's flipped over on its head a little bit. It usually looks like this. So the letter Mem is the mother letter of water. And it speaks to the winter and wet season and transformation through water specifically. Since it's over on its head, it makes me think that we are, again, leaving the winter season, the wet season, and moving toward the spring and the summer. But the Mem is also the first letter of the word Moshe, which is Moses, and Miriam, his sister, the prophetess and priestess Miriam. So we've just come through the Red Sea with that birthing. The Mem is seen as a womb space. You can see it has that opening in the center and then an open at the bottom for birth to occur. And I can see that little yud up in the corner. So that Mem has that yud planted in that uterus, and it is giving forth birth. But it's upside down. So there's some kind of internal gestation that is happening for us in this month. We are wandering in the wilderness, having left Mitzrayim, the Egypt, or the narrow place. And we're in this gestation period. And Mem is also the number 40 in Gematria, so 40 weeks of gestation in the human body, 40 years in the wilderness, and 40 days up on Sinai when Moses goes up to get the commandments at Shavuot. So a lot of gestation that is coming in near the seed at the top there. And we need water. We need water in the desert, of course. We need water to survive in the planet, but we also need water to water seeds that we are planting. So we have to really reach into ourselves, since this is turned over on its head. I'm going to read this as internal. We need to reach inside of ourselves for that internal sense of gestation and the nourishment that comes in our own bodies toward watering that which is being planted right now. Maybe we're reaching deep inside and connecting with Miriam, the one who had that secret well in the desert as we wandered in the wilderness. And I affiliate Mem with the High Priestess, who is the Moon Mother, and about receptivity and again, that unknown of the new moon coming in. And the High Priestess, which is the one who is sort of veiled and we can't really see what's coming, but she's got this direct connection to the divine, to the Shekhinah, the indwelling presence of the divine feminine. So we've got water, we've got seeds coming in internal gestation that's happening. I'm going to go down below, and we've got the letter Pei. It's a little bit lower than center on our reading today, and the letter Pei is the mouth. It's the word Pei means mouth. Interestingly, Pesach, it doesn't really mean mouth, but I saw a teaching by Rav Jericho Vincent, which talked about Pesach. It's from the Kabbalists, the mystics, who said that Pesach is a closed mouth. Or is it an open mouth? It's a mouth that is either open or closed. This is the mouth, and it's said to be the mouth of the divine, speaking creation into existence. And Pei is all about communication. It's about creation through speech. And it, again, in this reading was over on its head like this. So we're using our inner speech. We're using our speech. Maybe we're not saying it out loud. Maybe we're keeping our prayers to ourselves, but we are speaking them in our mind. This idea of saying what we'd like to see in the world. Maybe it's not safe to say these things out loud right now. And I love that Pei is a spiral, because I can imagine the breath of the divine spiraling in and out of the mouth. As it said, this metaphor of the divine breathing into humans in order to bring air, aleph, into humans, which are made out of blood, dam. So that brings aleph with the dam, and it brings adam. So humans are adam, and aleph is the mother letter of air, and dam means blood. So this breath that is coming into the divine and out of the divine, in a metaphor, into the humans, and that spiral that happens inside as we breathe in, and we have that spiraling happening, and then we breathe out, and it's like that labyrinth through which the air travels. Pei is also the number 80 in Gematria, so it has that sense of the infinite, the 8 looking like an infinity loop, and then times 10, so this ultimate manifestation of the infinite. And so again, like the Ein Sof, which is that blank representing the infinite, we have the Pei here, which is the mouth of the divine, and this, again, concept of the infinite, the ability to communicate with words and to speak into creation what we would like to see in the world. It's also got the sense of time because of the spiral linear process of time, that the year goes around, but it also goes forward and out and up, and we never end up in the exact same place as we were before. And the word pa'am, which means time, begins with the Pei as well. So this upside down Pei over on the right side here is saying that we have to speak what we'd like to see in the world, but maybe right now we're just only speaking it inside of our hearts or inside of our minds, because perhaps it isn't safe to say that out loud during this upcoming month. Next, I'm going to move over to the left here. On the left, we have a bunch of letters, the highest of which is the letter Kuf. And Kuf is the letter that begins the word Kadosh. Kadosh, which means that which is designated for service to the divine, that which is set apart. And it's something that we need to, it's also translated as holiness, but it's anything can be holy or profane depending on how one uses it. So the things that we are using for service to the divine are considered sacred or holy. It's also the first letter of the word klippa. Klippa, which means shells or shards. And there is the story in the Kabbalistic mystic tradition that the divine tried to contain themselves within a vessel, and the light was too powerful and it shattered. And those sparks went out into the world, but so did the shards of the vessel. And so those sharp parts are the parts of the world that are difficult for us to navigate, or might cause some pain or discomfort. And the sparks are the parts of the divine that are pure and light, and our job in the world is tikkun olam, to gather up those sparks and bring them back together to reunite all the different missing parts of the divine. So Kuf contains both of those ideas in it, the sacred and the klippa, the shells. So there's this designation for service that's here. In this month, we have to focus on and connect with those sparks of light and navigate the klipot, the sharp parts. Kuf is also the number 100 in Gematria, so it's got that 10 times 10. We've got the 10 up here with the Yud. This is 10 times 10. So it's like taking those Sephirot, the 10 emanations of the divine, and multiplying them times, say, the 10 commandments or the 10 plagues, taking the good and the bad and mixing them together. if you want to consider it a binary of good and bad, although I like to think of it as the divine has all those aspects within it. And so it brings us to that sense of sacredness where we can balance that which is holy and that which is more challenging, that which we perceive as holy and that which we perceive as more challenging. We've got that all wrapped up in the kuf. And that's here, right up high, even actually higher than our center. So that's going to be really important. Finding the sacred in whatever it is we encounter this month is that sacredness as we move forward toward something that is justice, something with our new beginning. Just below the kuf, we have the letter Vav. And Vav is the number 6 in Gematria. It is representative of the 6th day of creation, which is the day on which the humans and all other animals were created. It's upside down. It's usually like this, and we're finding it like this. You can see it's like a letter Yud that has a long line drawn beneath it. And the Vav is this letter that means and. It's literally the word and in Hebrew. So it's about connection. It's about bringing things together. It is the letter that is affiliated with this month, the month of Iyar. It's upside down. So we have this connecting that's happening, but it's happening inside of us. It's happening inside of us with ourselves, with our divine selves, with our holy selves, as well as together with divinity itself. So we're finding inner connection this month. And maybe it's with another person as well, but it's deep inside. It's a very intimate connection that's happening internally. The Vav is also seen as a peg or a hook. Those things that connect together, the veils around the Holy of Holies, those little tiny pieces, the pins that one uses to connect things, the tent pegs that one uses to tether the Mishkan, the mobile temple in the desert, to the earth so it doesn't blow away in the wind. So it's this unity. It's unity with divinity. It's connecting the divine with the human. It's like somebody standing tall with their head slightly bowed in humility, connecting with the divine, joining heaven and earth. And it's the 6th day of creation, again, that day in which the divine created in order to have a union with humans. What else? 6 directions. We've got north, south, east, west, above, and below. The directions in which we shake the lulav when we are imagining our connection with the divine in the fall with Sukkot. But also during the Omer, there was this harvest that would happen with the barley. And the harvest would happen, and then they would pick up that sheaf of barley and shake it in the 6 directions. So another 6 here with the Vav. We have this sense that the Vav in grammatical Hebrew is the letter that can change time. It changes the past tense of something into the future and the future into the past. So that's really interesting. And the month of Iyar is this connecting month. It connects Pesach with Sivan, with Shavuot, so Nisan, and then we have this long stretch of time where not much is happening except for the Omer count, and then we get into Sivan and we get to Shavuot. So we've got this connecting month that is affiliated with the Vav. And again, it's upside down. So again, internal. There's a lot of internal connection happening this month. Not to say there's anything bad about that, just that it's happening inside of us more than externally. We may not see a lot of external stuff, but we will see the internal connection happening, this and that. Next to that, we have the letter Bet. And Bet is the 2nd letter of the Aleph Bet, and it is the letter that means home. So home or homestead or house, or even it could be a synagogue, it could be a school, or even a place of work. But it's wherever we are spending our time. Where are we dwelling in this planet? It could be just the planet itself, but we are finding our home there. It's also the binary transformation of life and death in the Sefer Yetzirah. It encompasses all those things. Again, like this kuf represents both the light and the shells. Beit represents both life and death. It's the first letter of Torah, even though it's the second letter of the alphabet. It's the first letter of Torah, Bereshit, bringing us back to the Resh here. So Bereshit means in the beginning, and so the letter Beit is this preposition meaning in. So we're going inside, we're going internally, like I said, with the Vav being upside down and the Pei being upside down. We're doing a lot of internal work this month. So we're resting. It's the letter that's affiliated with Shabbat. So we have the idea of rest coming in. It's also a letter that's affiliated with the mouth in the body. And I'll show you the Pei here. Let me set my stuff down here. So the letter Pei is the mouth of the divine, and the Beit fits right inside of it. You can kind of see, if I pull them apart far enough, how you could fit the Beit inside the Pei. Woo! Jumped right out of my hand. So Beit is that word, the first word that comes out of the divine's mouth, Bereshit. But Beit itself is affiliated with the mouth in the body. So another mouth here. So we're speaking, but we are also doing a lot of internal work. And it's the letter that I affiliate with the World card in the tarot because it's the place where we dwell. We're finding our home. We're finding our house. As we're connecting, we're maybe sitting at home and resting in order to do what we need to do this month. And me, I'm working in my garden a lot, so maybe it has something to do with being home, being more of a homebody this month than maybe usual. Below that, we have the letter Zayin, and Zayin is lying down here. It's the number 7 in Gematria, so it usually looks like this. It's considered a sword or a scepter. So it has to do with sovereignty, and it's lying down, taking a little bit of a rest. It's also the day that's affiliated with Shabbat, because it is the number 7. So we've got Shabbat here twice, kind of resting. There's a lot of resting going on this month for us, which is great. I love that idea of just kicking back and enjoying the springtime. And Zayin is affiliated with the Shekhinah, the indwelling presence of the divine feminine, because Shabbat is affiliated with the Shabbat bride, and the Shekhinah is said to be the divine feminine counterpart of the divine masculine. So we're bringing together the divine masculine and the divine feminine. In fact, in the Omer prayer, as we sang it each night this month, or this time period, this 49 days between Pesach and Shavuot, we say that about the unification of the divine masculine and the divine feminine coming together to bring these 7 weeks a time of fruitfulness in the harvest. So the 7 weeks of the Omer are affiliated with the Zayin, and lightning also, like again that sword and scepter, but also lightning as it lit up the mountaintop on Sinai as Moses went up to get the Torah. This is the letter that's affiliated with Sivan, the month that comes after Iyar. And it's resting now because it's not time. It's not time to go up the mountain quite yet. But I recognize it as a letter that's about authority, about sovereignty. It's affiliated for me with the Emperor card in tarot, and about being protected by the divine sovereign, whoever that might be. And it's got a sense of completion with it as well, because it is the number 7 days of creation. So something is being completed in a very creative sense. And that might have to do with this springtime, the blossoming, the planting, the things that are starting to come up in the garden. We maybe are completing something this month that is very magical, because of course the number 7 has got this lucky and magical connotation with it in many cultures. So Zayin is here with us right here, lying down, giving us, again, more rest as we come through this month. We'll go down to this group down at the bottom of our reading. And we have the highest letter in this little grouping is the letter Dalet, and it's upside down. So Dalet is a doorway. I'll bring it up for you to see. It looks like this usually, and we're finding it upside down in the reading. Dalet is a doorway. It's about the liminal space, about stepping through from one place to another. And here we are at the new moon, leaving Nisan, heading straight into Iyar, leaving the narrow place of Mitzrayim, of Egypt, and heading into the wilderness as we head toward Sinai. Toward the revelation that we receive Torah at Shavuot. So we are in this liminal place. We're in this place between, we're in this and space that is between Passover and Shavuot. We're in this space of the unknown, this place of threshold and beginning. But we're not even beginning. We're just like in the doorway. We haven't even stepped through yet. So interesting. And dal, the word dal means poor. So now we've got both those letters here, Dalet and Lamed here, saying poor or humble. So there's a humility that comes with this as well. As with the Resh has got a bowed head as well. So there's some kind of humility that's happening. I'd like to think of it as when we're stepping through the doorway, we want to keep our head bowed so we don't smack it on the top piece of the doorway. And it's upside down, so it's humbled in and of itself. The Dalet is humbled here, down at the bottom. It's the binary transformation of wisdom and foolishness in the Sefer Yetzirah. So it could be that we need to be careful and remain humble so that we're not heading into something foolishly. That's the sense I get. Since it's very low in the reading, I'm thinking in terms of some semi-negative connotations that are affiliated with this group of letters at the bottom. So we've got humbleness. We've got the dal being that which is a poor one. We've got that upside down. So we're heading through a threshold, but we want to remain humble, and we don't want to head into a time of foolishness. Dalet is also the letter that rules over the planet Mars in the sky. Mars can be seen as a warrior planet, although Mars is also the planet that is about moving forward with great force. So it could be a positive thing, but since it's down below, let's not do some fighting this month. Let's try to remain wise in our interactions with each other. So that's Dalet here at the bottom. It's a transition letter. Right next to it, we've got the letter Nun. And Nun is the letter that represents humility. Na'aman means humble. And it's laying down on its face. So this already looks like somebody who's kneeling and bent over with their head, and it's lying down. So a humbled nun here at the bottom. We gotta hold on to our humility this month. This is really clear to me as I'm reading this. Nun is also the letter that begins the word nes, which means miracle. So there could be some miracles coming in, but we have to remain humble in order to see them. Nun is the foundation of locomotion, but it doesn't look like this is moving anywhere very quickly because it is lying down on its face. But it's about loyalty, and it's about faithfulness and remaining faithful. And so we have to remember to remain faithful and to remain humble in order to move through this period of time of stepping forward and starting a new thing. We don't want to trip and knock ourselves over on our face. We want to remain humble in this. The next letter here, we've got the Lamed. And the Lamed is the letter that means, it's the letter that reaches up the highest. So I think of it as hope, but it's upside down. Again, usually Lamed looks like this. It's the only letter in Hebrew that reaches above the line. So it's as if we are reaching up toward divinity. It's the first letter of the word lev, which means heart-mind. So using our mind and our heart to discern what to do. Again, upside down. So are we reaching down into the ground? Or are we just humbling ourselves? We're humbling our heart again. It feels like all this stuff is about humility here. We're digesting and absorbing what we need to receive from whatever it is we're learning. This is the letter that begins the word limud v'lamed, which is learning and teaching, but it's also the digestive tract, the intestines in the body. So it's about taking stuff in, absorbing what we need to absorb, and excreting what isn't working for us. So we need to have good discernment in this month, and again, remain humble. Put our hearts toward the ground, really bow our hearts down right now as we're moving through this month. Still, elevating our heart toward the divine, but maybe we're prostrating ourselves this time. This is a time of prostration, and really maybe I'm digging in the earth. Maybe I'm going out to the garden and putting my heart down into the earth. Again, there's no direction when it comes to the divine, and prostrating ourselves on the earth is a form of connection with divinity. In my book, you are closest to the divine when you are tending the earth in some way. and being out into the air and really enjoying this light that's coming in the month of Iyar. So again, more prostration here at the bottom of our reading, and the last letter in our reading at the very bottom is the Aleph, which is the first letter. The first shall be last, the last shall be first. So Aleph, we've got the first letter of the Aleph Bet at the very bottom of our reading. And I love this because we've got the Aleph here with the Yud above and the Yud below and the Vav between, the Vav which means connection, the divine above, the divine below, and the connecting piece, which is this month Iyar with the Vav, the same letter that is affiliated with this month. And we've got the Yud right at the top. So Yud at the top, Aleph at the bottom, connection with above and below. Aleph, of course, the mother letter of air. So we're taking time to breathe. Maybe we're spending time in meditation, like the Nun is that like related to the hermit. It's like somebody who's really prostrating themselves and kneeling down. We're breathing. We're taking time to meditate. We're resting in many ways. So Aleph, mother letter of air, is here telling us to take time to breathe and concentrate on the oneness of the divine, the balancing of above and below. Understanding that there is unity within the divine as well as multiplicity, that we know there is only one divine, but there are infinite number of faces of the divine. So we've got this unity within multiplicity, connection, and division. Aleph is the first letter of most of the names of the divine in Torah. El, El Elyon, Adonai, all begin with Aleph, as well as Adam and Adamah, which is earth and mud and human. So these things coming together, the divine and the human, as I said, the divine breathed through their mouth into the human who is made of flesh and blood and gave the air to it and created Adam, Aleph, and Dam meaning blood. So we have this sense of breath, the sense of oneness, the balance, the beginning of things. Again, Resh is the beginning. The Beit, Bereshit, is the beginning. And Aleph, of course, is the beginning that comes before the first word. In order for the divine to speak, there's this inhalation that needs to happen. Bereshit. So in the beginning, beginnings above, beginnings below, a seed above, the Aleph below. And all of this coming together in the month of Iyar, which is just beautiful. A great reading for this month. And so just to recap, we've got the unknown coming in right here in the center. We're moving forward with our foot toward some new beginning, toward a humble new beginning. In fact, the Resh is a little lower, and it's got that bowed head in it. The other thing I want to show you about the Gimel is if you look at it and you take the little heel off of it, it looks just like a nun. So there's humility here. And that little heel is like another yud. So you've got the divine at your heels, propelling you forward in a place of humility in order to achieve justice or a new beginning. The seed above, saying a new beginning has happened, that the divine is here above us, planting a seed. The becoming one is helping us to become. And we've got Mem over here, this internal watering of the things, this internal gestation that's happening, the 40 years in the wilderness as we walk through the wilderness. We've got the Pei, the speaking what we'd like to see into existence, but we're doing it silently. We're doing it inside our own mouths this time. And we're concentrating on the infinite, the 80, that number 8 times 10. 8 times 10, we've got the 10 up here, and it gives us to the infinite one again. Over here we've got the Kuf representing both Kadosh, meaning sacredness, and Klipa, meaning shards or shells. The Vav, this upside down Vav, meaning connection, but internal connection, and the month of Iyar. We've got the Beit saying home is here. The mouth, again, is speaking what it needs to say, but finding comfort in our homes, as well as beginning again, that Bereshit, that second letter that is the first letter of Torah. And underneath that, we've got Zayin. Zayin, which is the month of Sivan, coming in after this, as well as the sword of the scepter of the divine feminine. Beit is affiliated with Shabbat. Zayin, the number 7, is also affiliated with Shabbat. So rest. Take time to rest this month. Really enjoy your connections with the divine, this internal connections. Below, humility, humility, humility. We've got the Dalit, that transition place between one place and another, between Egypt and Sinai, between Passover and Shavuot, between where you are and where you're going. We just got to find ourselves in a place of humility right now as we make that transition. We've got the Nun, again representing humility, face down, saying, bow yourself, prostrate yourself. We've got the Lamed, representing the heart, mind, and integration of whatever it is we're taking in, also prostrating. So all of these, finding yourself down, face down on the earth, and the Aleph. The Aleph saying, take time to breathe, enjoy the spring air, find that connection between divinity and humanity, and the balance, the oneness of the divine. And we'll find our way through Iyar together. Lovely reading. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you hopefully sooner than the last time, but next time you're here, have a wonderful Rosh Chodesh, Chodesh Tov. We'll see you soon.